Hello Year 3, welcome to today's maths lesson. We're going to start off by going through the challenge that I set you yesterday, and then we're going to look at some more word problems and looking at some slightly different ways to solve them. So the first thing we're going to do is have a look at this challenge, and I will read this out first just to recap what the challenge was. I deliberately didn't talk too long yesterday about your challenge because I wanted to talk about it today. So the question is asking, what do you need to find a number chosen from this 100 square? 4 of the clues below are true, but do nothing to help in finding the number. 4 of the clues are necessary for finding it. Here are 8 clues to use. So the first clue is the number is greater than 9. The number is not a multiple of 10. The number is a multiple of 7. The number is odd. The number is not a multiple of 11. The number is less than 200. Its ones digit is larger than its tens digit. And lastly, its tens digit is odd. And the question, your task was to find out what the number was. I'm hoping that lots of you have been able to work this out, and I'm interested to see the different ways that you came up with doing it. So what we're going to do is have a look at each clue in turn and see whether or not you got the same answer. The first clue then is that the number is greater than 9. So this clue is quite a straightforward one. It means that I can immediately look at my digits from 0 to 9 and I can get rid of them. It's not going to be one of those numbers. So that leaves my grid looking like this, and we'll move on to the next clue. So this clue was looking at the fact that the number is not a multiple of 10. Again, quite a straightforward one. It means that I can remove all of my multiples of 10. So that's going to be the left-hand column along the side. With those two clues then, we've still got quite a lot of numbers that it could possibly be. I wonder whether or not those would be the ones that would actually help me work out what the answer is, or whether it's just going to be one of those 4 clues or 2 of those 4 clues that are correct, factually correct, but not necessarily going to help me to work out what the answer is. Let's have a look at the next clue. For this clue, we've got that the number is a multiple of 7. For this one, it's quite good because it's a little bit more specific. So I'm able to identify specific numbers that the answer could be. I know already that it's not going to be 1 times 7 because I know that 7 has already been crossed off. And I also know that it's not going to be 10 times 7 because 70 as a multiple of 10 has been crossed off already. So that leaves me with the possible options that I have highlighted now. As you can see, we've got a few different options, but it's certainly less than it was before. And just by working through each clue at a time, already I'm in a position where I've got a restricted number of possibilities. So we're doing all right so far, and hopefully you were able to do something very similar. So we're going to move on to the next clue. This clue is telling me that the number is odd, which is going to help me to get rid of all of the even numbers. Now, there's 2 different ways that I could do this. I could cross out all of the columns with the even numbers because I know that it's only going to be an odd number, but that's not really necessary because I've already identified the numbers in the 7 times table that it could be. Actually, all I'm going to do is I'm going to cross out the even numbers out of the ones that I've selected because that's going to be the most efficient way to complete this. So let's have a look at what that looks like. So as you can see, the red blots is not going to be a possibility. So those are even numbers that are in my 7 times table as a multiple of 7. But it leaves me now with just those 6 options. So we've got 21, we've got 35, we've got 49, 63, 77 and 91. Those are my options that we've got left. Let's have a look at our next clue then. The number is not a multiple of 11. Okay, so with this one, it's a little bit restrictive in terms of what number it's not, but it does go in some way to eliminate one of our possibilities. So we'll have a look at which one out of our options that is. So as you can see, it's just going to be 77. So we know that it is not 77. So we're now down to 5 different possibilities. We've still got 3 clues left. So I'm hoping that we should have enough clues left to be able to work out what the answer is. The next clue then, the number is less than 200. Well, that doesn't really help me, does it? Because our number grid is only up to 99, and we already know from the question originally that the number is on this grid somewhere. It's not going to be a number between 100 or 199. So as much as this clue is factually correct, it doesn't do me any favours at all in terms of solving this problem. So we'll skip past this one and move straight on to the next clue. The next one then, its 1 digit is larger than its tens digit. So here we're looking at the ones and tens columns in our numbers, and we're looking at the numbers that have a larger number in the ones column than in the tens column. So if I have a look at the numbers that I've got 21. That's not going to be the case, is it? Because my ones digit is smaller. 35, that would work because 5 is bigger than 3. 49, again, that might work because 9 is bigger than 4. 63, that's not going to work because the 3 is smaller. 91, that's not going to work either. So from there, I should be able to cross out those ones that we've eliminated. So with that clue, we're a little bit closer. We've now only got 2 possibilities that our number could be, and that is 35 and 49. All of the other clues so far have helped us to remove all of the other numbers in the grid. So out of our 99 numbers that we have, we are only left with those 2. So let's have a look at the last clue and see if that helps us identify what the number is. Clue number 8, its tens digit is odd. Its tens digit is odd. So if we have a look at our tens column, we've got 35 and we've got 49. So which one of those can we remove, which is going to leave us with the correct answer? There we go then. So hopefully you identified that the 49, the tens column there, is going to be even, which leaves us with the correct answer of 35. I will be giving some team points out to those people that have answered that correctly, and you should have already received those. So well done for your efforts on that. A little bit of a tricky one, but one that I think was worth investigating and looking at before we move on to our word problems for today. So well done. So today's lesson again is to solve word problems. Our date is the 12th of the 1st, 2021. And the reason that we're doing some more word problems is because when we come to do our review on Thursday, you are going to need to answer some word problems. And this lesson in particular is looking at some different ways, some different methods that you can use to work out what the problem's asking us, like we looked at yesterday, and then how you might be able to solve the problem. So the in focus task for today is that Elliot is saying that he has 8 coins. And we've then got someone saying that they have twice as many coins as Elliot. How many coins does she have? So think about what we were looking at yesterday about what the question's asking us. What is it that we need to understand what the question means and what the question is asking us to find out what that answer is going to be. And then we can look at what method we are going to be able to use to solve this problem. Before I get you to pause the video, I want you to consider this word twice. What does that word mean? Because in order to solve this problem, you're going to need to understand the vocabulary of twice. So have a think about what that word might mean. Once you've done that, I want you to see if you can have a go at answering the question. So I want you to pause the video and I want you to see if you can answer this question for me. So the word twice means to double or to have 2 times the amount. So here we were looking for the calculation of 8 multiplied by 2. 8 multiplied by 2 gives me an answer of 16. So therefore the answer is that she has 16 coins in total. So let's have a look at our Let's Learn, and to start off with, we've got a bar model and we've got some calculations that we can take from our bar model to work out the answer. If we have a look at Elliot's 8 coins, they're represented as 1 bar, and you can see that in the green bar at the top next to him. Underneath, you can see that there are twice as many bars. There are 2 bars, and that's to represent the fact that we have got twice as much. We know that inside each one of those bars is going to be 8 coins. Therefore, we can look at a calculation of 8 plus 8, which will give us a total of 16, which is the correct answer as we've already worked out. And our second method is to say that we have got 2 lots of 8 coins, so we can do 2 multiplied by 8, which gives me an answer of 16. Both answers are the same, and both answers tell me that she has got 16 coins in total. So let's have a look at our next part. It's saying that Amira has £2 coins, but we don't know how much. And it says here that Elliot has got 6 £2 coins. And he's also saying that I have 3 times as many £2 coins as she has. So I wonder if we can have a think about this question. So it's asking me to work out, I think, how much she has got, how many coins Amira has. And we know that Elliot has got 6 £2 coins. And we know that he's got 3 times as many. So I'm going to get you to pause the video here, and I want you to see if you can have a think about how to answer that question. Think carefully about whether you're going to multiply or divide. Think about who has got more. So with this question, I think there's a temptation here to multiply 6 by 3, which would give you 18, but that's not the correct answer. The question here is, the unknown part of this question is how many coins she has got. We know that she's got some £2 coins, but we weren't sure how many. We knew that Elliot had 6 and that he had 3 times as many than her. So what this bar model is showing you is that the 6 coins that he's got in total has been split into 3 equal parts. And we know that he has got 3 times as much as she has, which means that he has got the most. So our biggest number is 6. We're not going to get any bigger number than 6 in this calculation. We also know from that information that she is only going to have 1 of those bars, 1 representation of showing us that she has got 3 times as less as Elliot. And so therefore, if we do 6 divided into those 3 equal parts, that gives me an answer of 2. And what that allows me to do is, if I were to be looking at working out the answer as to how much was shown in each of these, actually I'd have 2 in each of these boxes. And the reason for that is that 2 add 2 add 2 gives me 6. And therefore, if this is 2, we know that this is the same amount, so that has to be 2 as well. Okay, so we've got some guided practice questions to look at now. And once we've had a look at the first one together, I'm going to talk through the second one, and then I'm going to give you some time to complete it, and then the same for the third one as well. So this first one we'll do together. There are 4 times as many biscuits in a blue packet as there are in a red packet. There are 32 biscuits in total in the blue packet, and it's asking me how many biscuits there are in the red packet. So I think what we might be looking at here is a bar model. So we've got the blue packet, which I'm not going to try and draw, and I'm just going to write the letter B, and that is going to show me that we have got a bar model here representing the 32. So we can write the fact that this totals 32, but we also know that it's 4 times as big as this red packet that we've got down here. So already I'm thinking that this bar model needs to be split into 4, because that's then going to show me perhaps the size or a rough way of working out what the answer might be for one of these. So I'm going to draw this roughly the same size as one of these. I've got 32 in total for the top one. I've got 4 equal parts, so I'm thinking I probably should divide 32 into 4 equal parts. So 32 divided by 4, I think is 8, but I'm going to double check. If I do my 4 times tables until I get to 32, 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, and that is 8 times. So I'm going to write 8 into each of these boxes. I'm going to try and write 8 into each of these boxes. And once I have done that, I am then going to write straight away in here that this is 8 as well. So let's read the question again and see if this answer makes sense. There are 4 times as many biscuits in a blue packet as there are in a red packet. And I've shown that in my bar model because my red one is 4 times as small. That's fine, I'm happy with that. There are 32 biscuits in a blue packet. Yep, I've shown that there are 32 in total there. And therefore the question is asking me how many biscuits are there in the red packet. So my answer is 8, and I'm happy with that because I've drawn this bar model to help me understand the question, and I looked at the question and underlined a few key parts, or one of the key parts that I needed, and from that I was able to work out the answer. So let's have a look at the second guided practice question. I want you to see if you can use a similar method to work out what the answer is. Here we've got 3 different people. We've got Ravi, Holly and Amira. And it's saying here that Ravi has 8 sweets. Holly is saying she's got twice as many sweets as Ravi, and that Ravi has twice as many sweets as I have. So the question is asking us how many sweets does each child have? So we need an answer for each one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause the video here, and I want you to see if you can have a think about answering that question. So let's have a look at this. So it's saying that Ravi has got 8 sweets. So if we show Ravi as having 8 sweets, so if we draw a bar model, which is a little bit wonky, I do apologize. If we split this into 8, I'm hoping that that will help me to answer that question. Okay, and then it's telling me that Holly has got twice as many sweets as Ravi. So Holly is going to have twice as many. So Holly's going to have that and that again split into 8. And then Amira is going to have twice as many sweets as Ravi. So Ravi has got twice as many sweets as Amira. So actually Amira is going to have half that. So she will have 4 because Ravi has then got twice. I think that makes sense. How many sweets does each child have? So here, each one of these is representing 1 because we know that Ravi has got 8 in total. So if this is 8, we know that Holly has got twice as many sweets as Ravi, so that's going to be in total 16 because she has got twice as many, and then Amira is going to have 4 in total, which should be answered like that. So hopefully that's the answer that you got. Ravi has got 8, Holly has got 16, and Amira has got 4. Last guided practice question then. There are 5 times as many boys as there are girls at a camp. There are 8 girls at the camp. How many children are there at the camp? So I'm not going to say any more. I want you to pause the video and I want you to see if you can work out this answer. So from this question, we know that there are 5 times as many boys as there are girls at a camp. So from the information already, we know that there are going to be more boys than there are girls. We know that there are 8 girls at the camp. So I'm going to represent this by one square, one box that's going to show me that there are 8 girls. We know that there are 5 times as many boys than girls. Forgive my poor drawing. And we know that each of these is going to be represented by 8. So if we have got 5 groups of 8, which looks like we have, what calculation am I going to do to work out the answer? It looks like it's going to be 5 multiplied by 8, which gives me a total of 40. And I'm just going to double check my answer. So if I'm going to count in my 5s, I think 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. So I'm happy that my answer is 40. But actually, hold on a minute, because the question's asking me how many children are there at the camp. So actually, I don't think my answer is 40 because I need to include the girls because that's just the boys. So actually, if I add my total together, my answer should be 48. So it was a good job I double checked that answer there. Otherwise, I would have got the wrong one. So hopefully you managed to get that. You might have even got it a little bit quicker than me, but well done. And here we are already at our workbook questions for today. So we've got worksheet 14, solving word problems. You are going to have a look at answering these questions. You need to make sure that you are reading the question carefully and you need to have a look at the bar model. In particular, look at where the question mark is so that you can try and use that to help you. Hopefully the lesson that we've just gone through will help you to identify and recognise what the steps are that you are going to need to be able to answer the questions. The questions are on Teams for you to upload and work on as an assignment. If you can't do that, then hopefully the work will be available for you to access on the website as well. So have a look at these 4 questions. And then on the last part of the video, I'm just going to go through what you're going to do tomorrow. So you might be disappointed to hear that our next maths lesson video is not until Friday, and the reason for that is because tomorrow you are going to be completing some activities in preparation for your review that you're going to complete on Thursday. So your main task for those 2 lessons don't require a video lesson, and therefore you are going to have a variety of different tasks tomorrow that are going to include some quizzes, some work on TT Rockstars, there's going to be some challenges taking place, and also looking at a quiz on Teams as well. Anything that's going to help with your revision for your review, looking at the multiplication and division work that we've done so far. So once you've been able to complete those activities tomorrow, you will then on Thursday have your review. That will be available on Teams for you to access as an assignment, and you just need to go through and answer those questions. Use some scrap pieces of paper if you need to, if you want to, maybe to draw some bar models and things, that's absolutely fine. But all you need to do is to type your answer into the box. If you can't access it, then it will be available on the school website as well. And as always, if you have any problems accessing it, then please ask your grown-up to contact the school. Thank you very much for taking the time to watch this video. I hope you found it useful and it's helped you to be able to answer today's questions.